Welcome to the Social Chameleon Show.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Where our goal is to help you learn, grow, and transform into the person you want to become. For past episodes and links to everything we talk about here today, you can visit thesocialchameleon.show. Today's episode, who's got my money? This episode will be bringing you awareness about money, where your money really is, and some ideas on making your money work harder for you.
Yeah.
Start this out. I think we should start this out with a nice story to kind of bring everybody in.
Okay.
Let's introduce the characters. We have
the characters.
Mr. Ryman will play the employee.
Yeah, that'll be me.
Yeah. We have Titus of Titus Incorporated.
Titus Incorporated.
And we have Big Daddy Bank.
Big Daddy Bank. Well, I mean, the whole premise behind the story, right, is just kind of, most people think that I get paid, right? So for me, as the employee, I get paid every week, say $1,000. And my check goes directly into Mr. Big Daddy Bank over there, right? So it goes from Titus Corp, yeah, because Titus Corp also banks with Big Daddy Bank, right? So Titus has his money there. So basically, for me, what it looks like is I log into my bank account and I see $1,000 every Friday. Yeah. But for Big Daddy Bank, what he sees is $1,000 in a section held for Titus over there. And that $1,000 just moves from Titus's section into my section. So I know it's a little bit of complication. I guess kind of most people think, I have the money, I have access to my $1,000, but they don't really understand that the money never really changed hands. Big Daddy Bank is over there and he's still holding the money until I actually go physically take it out or I pay for something. Right. That's kind of interesting.
So now, thanks, bud. I appreciate it. We'll see you later. That was fun. So now I hear in my head, the comment section, Ransom, Tyson, you're full of shit. I work, I clocked in, I made that money. I see it in my account. It's mine. You're full of shit. Big Daddy Bank don't own that. That's my money. I'll go down there right now and I'll take it all out.
Well, I'm not going to disagree with you. I mean, if one person wanted to go take $1,000 out of Big Daddy Bank, yeah, you're right. No problem. Easily. You can go do that. But if every single person in Big Daddy Bank, let's just, I don't know how big he is, but let's just say Big Daddy Bank's about $2 billion. He's got $2 billion of money in the bank account. If every corporation, right, Titus Incorporated wanted to go down there, Bank of America, the biggest corporations were Apple, Google wanted to go down to Big Daddy Bank and withdraw every single dollar that they had in there, they'd have a really hard time doing that. And in fact, somebody's not going to get their money.
Listen, Big Daddy take care. So we don't need to do that now. we don't got to get up. Big Daddy Bank take care of you. Don't worry about it.
Don't lie. Well, there's going to be some Big Daddy provisions here. If you read here clearly in your section of your agreements that you signed, you need to wait a few days to do. But seriously thinking, if everybody wanted to pull out every single dollar that they had in the bank, like billions and billions of dollars, like they wouldn't be able to do it.
Right. I mean, not only would getting a hold of that type of cash be practically impossible. I mean, the best case scenario, what you could do is they could issue everybody cashier's checks for the most part, give out the small sums of money. But even beyond that, okay, listen, let's just take this. Take all you guys' money. Take it all. Take all $2 billion. I'm good. Because guess what? I've already loaned out against that $2 billion.
Well, technically, right, you lined out 90% of it, yeah. We did the Google.
90% of the $2 billion I've loaned out $1.9 billion.
Yeah.
You can take all your guys' money out.
1.8, yeah.
But I'm already going to be collecting every month on that money. I've already loaned out.
Yeah, see, that's the thing people don't also understand is like, there's a scenario we talked about earlier, right? Is like the banks are only required to hold 10% reserves, right? So for the $1,000 that I have inside Big Daddy Bank, he can do whatever he wants with $900 of that $1,000.
Would
He
you
only has
like
to
a
hold on to
$900 loan, Mr. Ryman?
And see, and that's the other thing too, is like, see, for me, my $1,000 isn't really enough every month. So I got to go get a loan. And then what's the first thing that I think of? Hey, I bank with Big Daddy Bank. Why don't I go to Big Daddy Bank to get a loan? And it's like, okay. And then Big Daddy Bank looks at his balance sheet and he says, Ransom has $1,000 in here every week. You know what? I'm gonna give him a loan for $900. So what he's actually doing is he's taking my $900 that I have deposited with him, and he's giving me a loan for it, and he's charging me interest on it.
I'll give you good rates though, bro. No, don't worry about it.
Big Daddy take care of you.
Big Daddy take care of
you. You know, and it's like most people, like, you know, again, we're not here to raise cynicism or be cynical about the situation. Yeah. The idea is to show you that things are happening on a grand scale, and that you yourself, if you get financially savvy, if you understand the things that are going on with your finances, right? You get down to it and understand the numbers, you know, you can have a lot more control with what you want to do. I mean, that's how these big banks do it. They have the financial premise. They understand how money flows, right? It's not necessarily the fact that you have or holding on to money. Because like me, I'm going to bring out the props here. It's like, because in real life, the only money that I have right here, right now is in my piggy bank. Like, this is the only money that I physically have. I think I have like $10 in my wallet. I have $10 cash in my wallet, and I have my piggy bank right here. This is actually my son's piggy bank. But anyway, this is the only cash that I have on hand. I'm
the only wallet I have.
Google. No endorsements here. No endorsements here.
This don't even work no more.
No.
Stop doing it. But anyway.
Right. But the idea is that the rest of the money is actually held up. So if you look at what Big Daddy Bank is doing, right? Big Daddy Bank has a section, right? He's got Titus Incorporated section where Titus Incorporated's money is here. Then he's got Ransom's money, which is here, right? But he's holding all the money, if you think about it. Big Daddy Bank is holding all the money. He's just keeping it safe for us, right? Keeping it safe.
Keeping it safe in the safe.
In the safe, right? So from there, if Big Daddy Bank is smart and he understands how the money flows from one person to the next, then he can kind of make, what I want to say, educated guesses.
Yeah.
I'm going to say assumptions. He's going to make educated guesses on, you know what? This is how much money Titus Incorporated keeps on a regular basis. Then from here, this is how much money Ransom keeps on a regular basis, right? So if I know that they have a tendency, right, I'm going to make an educated guess that they're not going to spend this amount of money, then I'm going to go take the money that I have, right? Big Daddy, he's going to take that money and he's going to do something else with it and invest it and get a better rate of return.
Right. And that's right. The thing, ain't Big Daddy's money, but I'm using your money to make myself money, you know, just for your privilege of you to have a bank account.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out, I'm going to loan against that, and I'm going to, you know, give out loans, give out mortgages, car loans, whatever, you know. And it's not, I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just understanding where your money is and what it's doing and how it's circulating around the world.
Right. It's like, it's not just being parked, right? I've heard that before. When you park your money, like most people think when you put your money in the bank, like it stays in the bank. No. Like that's the idea. It is your money. You can pull it, you know, again, not everybody's going to pull their money out at the same time. So yeah, you could go and pull your money out when you want to, right? However, the bank is not just holding that money.
And a lot of times when you're taking money out, you're just changing digital currency from one location to another. Just
Right. It's like the speed of money. Just like when you go to withdraw money from the bank, you're standing in line, you know,
right.
the person before you is making a deposit for $100.
Mm.
I mean, when you go to the teller behind the next person, like, okay, I need to withdraw $100. Like, she just basically took the $100, she put in the thing, and oh, here's your $100.
Here's $100. Yeah, it's not yours. It's this collective sum.
Right.
Everybody pulls from you. It's just organized in a digital format.
Yeah. And so I guess kind of, getting off the whole big bank section, it's just kind of like, let's just focus this back on the individual person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so on the individual person, granted, we've all had hard times, like, where you have too much month at the end of the money. You know what I mean?
That happens.
So I've been there. Heck,
many times.
the reason I was still there, you know what I mean? Like, Hawaii State Tax Collector called me up the other day, like, hey, look, buddy, we got this situation here. I'm like, oh.
This is doing the 15th, right? And not June.
So, yeah. But anyway, I mean, so we've all been there where we live paycheck to paycheck, or sometimes we get involved with credit card situations, and it's like, we don't necessarily have the means to cover, was that your body's writing checks, you can't cash. It's like,
and then if you're in that situation, as hard as it is, you got to recognize, like, listen, you're one flu away, one unfortunate accident or event away from something like that, where you miss your credit card payment, or you miss your car payment, or something like that.
Yeah.
Average person lives very close to that every day.
So, if there's people out there watching this that are, in those situations, right, where like you can't even wait for your paycheck to come, you got to go to like payday loans or something and cash that check out. Don't make that face. You've been there.
I've never done payday loan place, but I've been broke.
You've been there. You've been there. Oh yeah, so let me borrow $100, bro. You're paid Friday.
Yeah, because I ain't gonna go to that payday loan place and pay 7% interest.
But you know what I'm saying, though. It's like if you're in that situation, like, my number one recommendation is go seek professional help. Like, there are bankruptcy attorneys. Again, I'm not saying you got to file bankruptcy, but this shows about awareness. Just go out there, get that awareness, because there are people that can help you. I mean, there's
tons of programs and
tons of programs that you can get out there and qualify to pay your debt back. Something 60-70% on the dollar, sometimes even less than that. You'd be surprised at what can happen if you just do that to turn your life around. Mm-hmm. But
some of those programs, like I've heard of, like 5 years and all your debt's paid off. Like,
yeah, exactly. Granted, your credit's going to take a hit, but
it's plausible. Yeah.
But at the same time, in 5 years, like, you're out of this hole.
But even beyond that, the immediate thing that's going to happen is you're going to be less stressed, and then you're going to get less sick.
Yeah.
Focus on
all those
future thoughts.
Yeah, all those creditors, and you'd be like, you know what? I have somebody handling my account. Here's their number, and you just kind of bypass that. You don't have to be scared about answering your phone and like, people, trying to negotiate with people and all that kind of stuff. And granted, there are some people out there, if you're strong enough, hey man, call these creditors back and be like, look, dude, I owe you $50,000, but I got $10,000 in my bank account right now. Like, you want to take that? And sometimes they'll be like, oh, we'll settle for 20. And it's like, really? You can give me a $30,000 discount right now if I give you 20 G's? Okay.
Be aware, though, you may have to pay taxes on that money.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, though, it's like, you'd be surprised. Like, if you're a salesperson, if you're a good negotiator, get out there and see what you can negotiate with these people.
And they want to, in the most part, they want to work with you. They want to help you. They want their money back.
Yeah. Or at least a portion of it.
Right. Some, they don't want to, if they have to write off half the loss, that's surely better than all of the loss. And they really do want to work with you.
But anyway, we've been on this train for just a little section on this episode. I'm not trying to, again, if you're in that situation, there is help, there is hope, go do that. But for everyone else out there that, you don't necessarily, you're not in that trap, but, you just, when I ask you, how much money have you spent on, say, fast food this month? I mean, how much money you spent on Starbucks this month? Do you even know?
Yeah, most people don't. I mean, I bought myself dinner the other night at a fast food place, you know, late at night when I was out, and it was $20, and I was like, what? I had to ask the cashier. I was like, excuse me, like, I just bought 2 hamburgers, like, and I was like, how is this $20? She's like, prices keep going up, bud. And I'm like, dang, like, I mean, it's not something I normally do, but so simply, if you ate out once or twice, you know, a week or a day, sometimes, that's quick.
Yeah, but I mean, there's just a lot of people, like, they don't know, like, you know, what happens with their money. It's like, do you know how much you spend on gas? Like, there's a lot of people that money just comes into their account, and, you know, they just go about life, and then they just swipe, and, you know, and that's fine. You know, if you're not behind and you're living a lifestyle like that, I definitely think you're doing okay. However, I think if you took some time to manage that, and you kind of got down to the nitty gritty as to what you actually spend your money on, you can be like Big Daddy Bank, and you can, you know, start to get leftovers with that money, or you can possibly use your money in a different way to actually make it work for you a little better. So I'm not sure.
And, you know, a lot of times, you know, they say the impulse purchases are they consider $250 or less. I don't know about you, but I don't make no $250 impulse purchase. But a lot, you know, we get caught up in this consumer mindset. We always gotta go shopping every weekend. We gotta get the new shirt, the new shoes, the new this, the new that. And a lot of times, you know, like we're talking about, you don't realize, like, just that money just goes so quick. Right. Yeah, it sounds fun. I got the new iPhone 8. It's only $22 a month. But you don't realize that you're paying 100% of that price. Like, did you need the new one? You had the 7. Did you need the 8? You know?
Don't know, man.
Things, you know, like, you can, you know, you go to Starbucks every morning and say, yeah, well, it's only whatever, $6, $7, $8. I know these things are minor things or whatever, but, you know, I don't necessarily advocate for, you know, cutting out these minor things or whatever. But if you start to think about these things, they can slowly add up. You can buy a really high quality, you know, bag of coffee, way better than what you're drinking at Starbucks. Most of that shit is much sugar, you know, and it's not really helping your health. And you can.
Well, I mean, you know, and again, we're not trying to get out there and change people's lifestyles. Like, if that's what you want to do and you want to take it to the extreme and, like, cut out everything, by all means, try it for a while. But again, this show is just about getting better, right? Like, we talked about that in 12 Rules. Like, all you need to do is just get 1% better. Like, that's it. If you just want to start with one thing, just take Starbucks and put a limit on it, right? I don't know how much Starbucks is, or maybe $5 for a cup of coffee. You get one of those maybe every weekday. You know what I'm saying? 5 days a week.
That's what I do. Like, usually, like, Thursday or Friday, I'll go over and I'll get, like, this 6-shot thing from a coffee place over here I like. But
right. But if you take into account every day you work, you get a Starbucks coffee at $5 a pop. That's $100 a month, right? Yeah. That's like easy $100. You don't see it because it's $5 at a time, but that's $100 a month. So, you know, just those kinds of things about numbers, those kinds of things, that get out a calculator and just be like, hey, look, what do I do? Like, put a limit on that kind of stuff. Maybe you only want to spend $35. That's like, or 50. Get a coffee from Starbucks every other day. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Or like Tyson's saying, go get a bag of coffee and a coffee maker. You probably get that for under $100, and you got coffee for the whole month.
Yeah.
You know?
Even other things, like, you know, you start looking at all your expenses as a whole, you'll start to find, most likely, these big chunks of things you're spending. Sometimes you're not even realizing, like, I spent that much on work clothes this month. Like, Jesus, I really haven't even worn a lot of those things. Or like I have cable and Netflix and Amazon. Like, do I need all these things? Like, maybe I can get rid of 1 or 2 of these things that I'm not using. And it's just, you know, you're not going to the gym, but they're pinging your credit card every month for whatever, $35.
Right. You know? And it's just because of, you know, that's the human element in things, right? We're humans. We're going to do all these things impulsively. That's the reasons why banks like Big Daddy Bank can do what they do. Yeah. It's like, because people, they know and they understand that there's a human element to people, and they're not always going to be on top of their finances. They're not always going to understand what they're doing with their spending. So they put their money in a bank, you know, and that's kind of what they're banking on. It's like, so,
Hey, but, Big Daddy take care of it. Don't worry, don't worry.
But I know out there Tyson doesn't hype on everything that there's that Dave Ramsey has, but Dave, if you have, he has that book out there, right? Total Money Makeover. We'll put that in the links. But he basically has like a cash system that you use, envelopes. And we're trying to do envelopes, just use this. But basically, you got one envelope for groceries, right? You got the next envelope for, I don't know, your entertainment or whatever it is. And so it's like, oh, we're gonna go grocery shopping. So you take a look and you open up the first envelope, and you're like, this is all the cash I have for grocery shopping for the next week or the next 2 weeks. So when you go through that process, you start realizing like, hey, I can't just, this money is not unlimited in this envelope. Like there's only so much that I can spend. So when you go through the exercise, right? This is this thing, like humans are creatures of habit. So when you start getting into these habits of just physically handling cash, you start to pay attention to the stuff you're putting in your shopping cart. Yeah. And that's just kind of one of the examples. And same thing when you have an envelope for entertainment. It's like, we're gonna go out tonight. You reach in here and you grab this entertainment envelope, and you're like, okay, what are we gonna do with this? This is all the entertainment that we have for 2 weeks. Right. Like you start to better do with that money.
Yeah, that stuff is great, especially if in the beginning, if you're having problems, you've gotten the problems in the past with credit cards and overspending, maybe overdrafting your bank account. Yeah, those are good things to get into those habits. Absolutely.
Yeah, I know, but you were saying earlier, like you're not sure because he says like credit cards and all that kind of stuff.
He doesn't advocate for credit cards and loans and things like that and stuff. And if you have problems spending, like, you can get a lot of trouble real quick with a credit card.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. But you've got to understand like the power of credit cards, mortgages, loans, like these things, you can leverage $1 million a whole lot.
Right.
You can get 10 versus if I only have $1 million in cash and that's the way I'm spending it, that's all I got.
Right. Well, I live in Hawaii. It's like the median price is like $600,000 for a home. Right. It's like, how long going to take you to save up $600,000 to buy a house like all cash?
You might not ever save that up your entire life.
So, it just kind of depends on what the situation is and definitely leverage. But I like Dave Ramsey's system because it teaches you a habit. You get into good habits of knowing that, hey, look, this envelope is all I got. So when I look in it, like I got to use that wisely. Yeah. And then it's the same thing.
Foundational system. Yes.
Yeah. You get back to basics, just like anything else in your life. Whenever you find yourself spinning way out of control, you got to hit the brakes, right? Put that shovel down, stop digging, right? And then formulate a new plan. It's like, okay, how did we get here? We started from basics. And then from basics, we went to advanced things that took us way off the map. Yeah. So now let's get back to the basics and kind of get back on track. That's the thing I like about a system.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
if you're out there and you're more savvy and you have the basics down, then you can go out there and use credit cards because, but then again, like maybe you want to adopt a similar system, have one credit card for groceries, know what that limit is. Yeah. Nowadays we got these smartphone things. Go ahead and check your balance after you spend it, right? Go in there and look and like, okay, this is how much I have left for groceries. I mean, use one for gas. The Costco card is really, really good for gas because you get like 3 to 5% depending
I think it's 5 if you at the Costco gas station, maybe something like that. Yeah.
Just whatever. I know for sure it's almost always 3, and occasionally they have promos for 4 to 5%. So whatever money you spend on gas with that card, you get it back. But just make sure at the end of the month that you're paying that card back to either zero balance or whatever your balance was when you started. I know some people like me, I just keep like maybe $1,000, sometimes $2,000 balance on the card. That's just for my own purpose. I got like a little cushion, but whatever. I always bring it back down to that balance at the end of the month. And
that's what I like to do. I have one card, all the possible bills that can possibly be debited off of a credit card comes off of that. And then I'm getting 1.5% or sometimes more cash back on my Netflix, and all this stuff. And, grocery shopping, I get, other cards, you get 2, 3, sometimes whatever, different percentages, cash back, miles, travel rewards. So many things.
Yeah, I've heard of people like they have like a reward system. So I know somebody personally that they're part of that reward system. They can get like gift cards to their favorite restaurant. Yeah. And that's what they do. Like they go out and they, as long as, again, you got to keep it under control. If you know that every month you're only going to spend $300 on groceries, then you should be getting $300 in those type of rewards. And that's what they do. And then from there, they get that gift card and they go out once a month to their favorite restaurant for free. It's just like, oh. And then other people, a lot of people use miles. Like they go ahead and they buy gas and they get miles. And, for us, we fly to the 9th Island out there in Vegas.
Right. I like cash back. I mean, I make thousands and thousands of dollars every year on cash back.
Yeah.
And that's money. A lot, majority of that is money that would have been, just gone. It's just normal, Netflix and groceries and
yeah. I call it like phantom money. I mean, if you would have put it out there as cash, you wouldn't have got that. But this is the thing most people don't understand. Like when we were growing up, the thing was, certificates of depreciation. Certificates of deposit.
Hey, Big Daddy Bank likes when you use those.
But the thing back then is that's what banks were doing, right? Banks were giving incentive for people to keep their money in the bank, right? So that they could lend 90% of it out to somebody else. And that's how they did it. So like, we'll give you a certificate of deposit for, let's just say 12% interest. So, I'll take my $1,000, give it to Big Daddy, and he'll give me 12% back on that money. Yet he's going to also give me a loan, and my loan is going to be like 15, 14%. So he's still making money on top of that money, which is kind of interesting. But nowadays, if you want to go open a savings account, you get like 0.5% interest back on, I don't know. Savings is not.
I definitely, I mean, please God, people don't keep tons of money in a savings account or in your checking account for no reason. I like personally having a little instant cash on hand in case there's an emergency or some unexpected thing happens. But I mean, personally, the rest of my money it's gone. It goes out to investments. I automate a lot of things, every month, things automatically go places I really like Wealthfront. I know I've talked about it before. But there's lots of things like that are just automated. They go ahead and they take care of all the investments. Money comes out of my checking account right to them. I don't think about it. It just happens.
Yeah. And then, if you have extra money, definitely keep some away for a rainy day. I mean, you never know when you're going to get sick and you can't go to work, or you never know when, emergency things are going to happen when your shower explodes and you have water flying everywhere and you got to fix that. But, nonetheless, you should, if you do have some leftover cash, you should be doing something with it other than parking it in a bank. I, for one, just recently opened up a investment account, and for my son's birthday, I got him shares of Snapchat. So
nice.
I mean, it's
cool.
It's just something out there. Like for him, that's cool. He knows what that is. Like, you know what I mean?
That's cool.
So in the future, hopefully that's going to get him more money on it. And, he can take that somewhere else. But
you go to school and tell everybody, hey, I'm a Snapchat shareholder.
Yeah, but like it's something, again, it's something else other than parking at a bank. Granted, I'm parking it with Snapchat, but still, you know what I mean? If Snapchat going to give me a better return on my money, then that's the goal. Right?
Hopefully Snapchat will give you more than 0.5% return.
Yeah, definitely.
And history would dictate that to be very plausible.
Yeah. And seeing that's the kind of thing too, is like other people don't always understand return on investment. I think we talked about it, but I'm not really sure we really
I'm definitely sure we went through it on episodes 9 and 10, but there's always a good time to repeat it and keep, having this knowledge repetitive. And the more you hear it, the more you'll learn it. And you'll
right. So basically you want to try to get the best return on your investment, and I know right now we're talking about money, but we can talk about other things too. But the return on your investment is you're going to put XYZ down, right? Like you're going to put $100 down. Yeah. And hopefully I'm going to get this right. Right. And if you get a 10% ROI, right? Like that means that for the $100 that you put into something, you're going to get $10 back.
Yeah.
Right. And I understand that when you talk about those kinds of small numbers, 100, you only get 10 back. Like, yeah, that seems small, but just add a few zeros on there. You know what I mean?
Even beyond
that, you put 100,000 down, you're gonna get $10,000 back. Yeah. Like,
but even let's just go back to the $100. So okay, you started at $100, you did nothing, and now you have 110.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing.
You're gonna get 10% on $110.
Yeah.
And over the years and over time, this will become a large sum of money.
Right, and this show again is always about awareness. We're not looking for that. There is no get rich quick scheme or anything like that. And even if it is, it's very, very transitional. There's a small window of time in which that's available. And after that, you're not going to get those types of returns again.
Right. Yeah?
Just like we were talking about getting 1% better. Like that's all we need. You guys get better at mastering 10% ROI. Guess what? You'll find a vehicle out there that's going to get you 12, 15, 20%. Like,
let's say you don't right now invest that, but you can save yourself 10 or 15% a month. It's the same thing.
Yeah. And then once again, so like, I guess trying to recap, because we talked about a lot through this episode. Yeah. Just if we want to do a quick recap, right? The story in the beginning was to kind of help you understand that there's better ways to use money. Right? We're not here to say banks are evil. We're just here to say that banks have figured out how to control finances and they're taking advantage of it. Yes. Right? You can do the same thing. So first thing, get down to basics, right? You got to understand how much money comes in to your account every month, and you got to understand how much money comes out. And you hopefully, you got something left over at the end. If you don't have anything left over at the end, try your way to figure out how you can get some. Dave Ramsey has a good system. If those of you that are not hard on cash, like Tyson is, they have programs out there. Most financial institutions have some type of financial software. You just go online and just look for their financial software. It's built into online banking almost all the time.
If not, there's free stuff like Mint.
Yep, mint.com.
Karma will help you, with your credit and seeing these things. I think they have something as well similar to Mint. Right. I know Bank of America has something built in, and I think they have some new thing they just launched.
Yeah, but anyway, these are all part of the basics. The basics are understand what comes in, understand what goes out, and at the end of the month, hopefully you have something left over. Yeah. So for those of you that are spending, that don't have anything left over, and you practically what I call breaking even, you got $10 at the end of the month. Okay, start using things like within control now, right? Within control. Don't go out of control with credit cards. But start with, I say the Costco card is amazing. If you have a Costco membership, go apply for a Costco card and just start with one thing first. Don't jump out and go crazy. Just start with gas. Get a Costco credit card and buy gas with it. And at the end of the month, pay off your gas. Yeah. That'll give you instantly 5% on whatever you spend on gas.
That's free money.
Free money.
Spending it anyway.
That you can do. Okay. And then for those of you that once you have something left over, you can still do the Costco gas card trick thing too. But for those of you that have something left over, start looking into other investments. Like Tyson said, you can use Wealthfront. Okay. For those of you that want to go try in the stock market, go do some stock market things or take your time to get educated on how that works.
If you're in the market for a better credit card that gives you some of these rewards, I'll link the website. NerdWallet's a really good resource.
Oh, okay.
For showing you what you're interested in, cash back or miles, and based on your credit worthiness and all these types of things, it'll whittle down the top cards for you. It's a really good resource. if you're looking to use that to leverage the money you're already spending.
Yeah, definitely want to get out there and leverage it. And so once you have something left over, try to find stuff that's going to get you a better return on your money, using the Wealthfront thing or getting into stocks. If you're going to get into stocks, like, go slow. Just take small little steps. I definitely recommend things that you already use. Like for my son, Snapchat, it's like he knows what that is. All of his friends use it. Who's your phone carrier? You got AT&T, you got Verizon, you got Sprint. Go look. You know what I mean? Like, hey Google, what's Verizon stock price? And they'll tell you. You can go.
Whatever the things look around your house. You like Samsung TVs. You like Apple stuff. You like Instagram. Go buy Facebook stock. I mean, there's tons of things you can do.
Yeah, a lot of people
first before you just go buy these things.
Yeah, but I mean, like that's the thing. That's the thing too. It's like if you shop at Costco, right? Like what's going on at Costco. If you like Apple, when the new Apple phone is going to come out. What do you think is going to happen to Apple stock when the Apple phone the new Apple iPhone 11 comes out? Chances are the stock price of Apple is going to go up on the day that phone comes out. And you know what? If you are into Apple, when that phone's going to come out. I mean, if you're into Apple, when the new MacBook is going to come out. What do you think is going to happen to the stock price when that product comes out? Like, these are the kind of things that, you don't have to be a super savvy smart. Like, you don't got to go to like some 10-course class on how to trade stocks. Like, you just kind of have to pay attention. What's around your house? What do you use every day? Where do you go shopping?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you don't need 100 shares. You can buy 1 or 2 or 5 or whatever you can afford.
Yeah, whatever you can afford. It's just like there's a way to take that leftover money and put it into something. For those of you that got a lot of leftover money, go buy a house. I'm in the real estate. Like, go buy a house. Like, that's the number one thing that most people either make money in real estate or they hold their money in real estate.
Yeah. There's even ways now you can like peer fund people's buying their houses. That's another way of maybe not getting in the real estate game, but being in the real estate mortgage game.
But see, that's the whole thing, right? Like, we use the Big Daddy Bank as an example that from there, you can sit down and manage your own finances, right? Figure out the best way that you can do your finances. And then whatever money you have left over, like, granted, there is a lot of risk that's on the table, right? Usually the more risk there's involved, then the more reward you're going to get from that. But there are definitely low things you can do. Again, we talked about this if you're in the E quadrant, go put that money into a 401k.
Yes.
Go put it into a retirement account, something that's simple, something that's easy to use. We talk about these things because at the end, right, we're talking about end game. Like, end game, the idea is to get passive money coming in. Like, that to me is the total end game.
And like we talked about in episodes 9 and 10, the cash flow quadrants, go out and find these professionals, these tax people to help you find the most money you can save on your taxes. These financial people to help you look for these type of investments. You can find business brokers that are selling businesses. Maybe you can get in on something like that. Go seek these professionals and find out what's available for you and out there, and see what they have to say about your situation, how they can help you grow your money.
Yeah. And again, we talked about it earlier, but for those of you that, you're in the hole so deep, you don't know how to get out, there's also professionals there that can help you.
Yes.
Talked a lot about it earlier, but just as another reminder, if you made it through this whole episode thinking I can never do that, this is never going to be a possibility of me, I'm so far behind. Don't lie to yourself. That's BS. That's your belief system. You got to get your mind right.
I've been through some of that stuff myself. I have friends that have gone through bankruptcies and within a few years they were able to buy a new car and buy a house and a lot of things. It's not the end. There's a lot of things out there. It's going to take time and take effort, but you're going to feel so much better when you're not wondering what you're going to do on Wednesday because you don't get paid till Friday.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot better feeling. You're going to be able to have more future thoughts. You're not going to be as sick. You're not going to be as potentially unhealthy and stressed out. Seek the help. Don't be ashamed. It's there.
Yep. That's good, man. All right.
Anything else? Or are we good here?
Yeah, I think we're good, man.
Good?
I think that's it. We got those giveaways you want to tell people about?
The giveaways, you know me, I love my giveaways. It's so much fun to give. This month, all of June, I know we're coming to an end here. At the time of filming, we got about 10 days left of this giveaway. It is Gary V's Crushing It. Amazing book. New York Times smash hit, #1 bestseller. And also episode 15's author, another New York Times smash hit bestseller, 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson. Enter to win both of these books, not one or the other, both books. Head over to the socialchameleon.show/pickme and enter for your chance to win both of these amazing, amazing books.
Cool.
And speaking of books, here's some books we got on this topic to help people on their journey either to finding the basics or getting from the basics onto the next level.
Yeah, we got the Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. That's the one where he talks about just getting envelopes of cash and labeling them for whatever your basic necessity are, and that's all the money you got. We also got Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. For those of you cynics out there, he talks about it in his book too, how banks are just using your money to lend to other people. And you should be the bank. That's what he teaches the fundamental principles of trying to be the bank for people. Yeah.
And then some of my two books on understanding a little bit more of this, and then also understanding when you've got the basics down and you're looking to get to the next step. Money Master the Game is like the original book from Tony Robbins. He did right shortly after the recession in 2008, if you guys are old enough to remember that. He went and interviewed, I think it was 50 of the wealthiest people that were self-made wealthy in America. He got to talk to them, and they got down to a lot of nitty-gritties and things they did. That book's a little thick and heavy. The book he did after he kind of broke it down a little bit more was Unshakable. Same basic concepts and principles. Either one or both of those books, if you're looking to head to the next step when you get into the intermediate or advanced level, check those out for resources there. And then our challenge, Mr. Ryman, what is this week's challenge?
All right, challenge for those of you out there: build a basic foundation and understand how you're using your money. Once you have the basics down, there's some of you out there that already have. Find ways to leverage your spending and ways to invest your money, right? Like the way you use money, either use a credit card, get some bonus miles, get some rewards. For those of you that got money that's left over, go do something with that money. Get a better return on your investment. Whatever you're doing now, maybe you just have it in a savings account. Maybe you got it in some stocks. Maybe you got it in some real estate. Whatever you're doing, get out there and try to find a better rate of return on your investment, for sure.
Or more of what you're already doing if you're into some of those more advanced things.
Yeah, definitely.
And final thoughts here. As always, our mission and goal here is to become aware what financial institutions are doing with your money. Not hating. Become aware of what you are doing with your money and how you can learn to better leverage it. And on that note, as always, in between shows, you guys can connect with us at The Social Chameleon on all your favorite social apps. Also, you can either listen, if you're not listening to this on a podcast, you can listen to it on your favorite podcast apps, as well as the video format on YouTube and Facebook. We also have a Patreon page now if you'd like to donate to the show to kind of help get some better gifts for people, whatever it be. Investing in yourself, investing in your education. This is a small way you can do that. And if you can like, share, and subscribe to this on your favorite podcast app or wherever you're watching or listening to this now, share it with somebody that you think this can help. And until next time, we'll see you guys. Hello. For past episodes and links to everything we've talked about here tonight, you can visit socialchameleon.show. And until next time, keep learning, growing, and transforming into the person you want to become.